Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Nathan Fox. That's Ben Olson. We're the founders of LSATdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. We've got an email here from Matt. The subject is part-time program outcomes.
Hi, Nate and Ben. I have been a Demon user since January and have found your style of teaching engaging and effective. I'm applying to law school this fall. While I will be applying broadly to day and part-time night programs, I'm particularly interested in part-time programs so I can continue to work. Law school would make the most sense to me financially if I am able to receive a strong scholarship and not lose 3 years of income. When I look at the 509 data for the part-time programs I am interested in, the employment outcomes seem significantly weaker than the outcomes for full-time day students. Is this true? Could you please offer some information and guidance relating to part-time programs and career outcomes? Yes, you are misreading the 509.
Okay, say more.
The 509 employment outcomes do split the graduates into full-time and part-time groups.
Okay.
But they are not referring to the full-time and part-time groups of law students. They're referring to full-time and part-time work. So yeah, they are astronomically small. You'll see that the part-time outcomes are, it's like the number of people who get part-time jobs is almost no one. That's not because they graduated from the part-time program. That's because they took all the graduates, both from the full-time and part-time programs, combined them into one group, and then said, okay, how many of these people got a full-time job and how many of these people got a part-time job?
Okay. And this is a misreading of the employment outcomes?
Yes. So basically, Matt is looking at the part-time numbers in the employment outcomes and assuming that that's referring to part-time graduates.
That's just percentage of people who got part-time jobs, which of course there aren't that many people who get part-time lawyer jobs.
Nope. Yeah.
So it looks like that's a very low number in the part-time column.
Yep.
Makes sense. Yeah, there's no reason why. I mean, my first thought was, well, if a school has much lower admission standards for its part-time students, which may be the case at some schools, I don't know.
Yeah, and some schools actually we've seen have higher standards for their part-time students. But yeah, in general, though, they're lower standards.
I mean, check this out. I just looked at UNLV.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Las Vegas, Nevada. They have a median LSAT of 160 for their full-time program, but only 156 for their part-time program.
Mm-hmm.
They have a 3.84 median GPA for their full-time program, but only 3.22 for their part-time program.
Yeah, that's a big drop.
So that looks like a school that is admitting people with far lower credentials into their part-time program.
Mm-hmm.
And if that were the case, then I might expect that because of the selection bias that happened up front, like the outcomes for the part-time program are not going to be as good.
Yeah.
Because the candidates weren't that good to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that that's the case at many schools. And as Ben says, frequently the part-time credentials are going to be higher than the full-time credentials. So I think you're right. I think Matt must be misreading those employment outcomes reports because I've never heard anything like that of part-time programs having worse outcomes on jobs.
No, well, and I know the answer to this question because I made the same mistake. I was looking at those employment reports and I was thinking, oh, okay, so here are the numbers for the full-time students. Here are the numbers for the part-time students. It would be a lovely thing to know, right? Like, because they are going to be different, most likely, because of the differences in credentials for those who were admitted.
But they don't actually do that.
They don't do that.
You're just a graduate of that school that year, and whether it was full-time program or part-time program, who cares? According to the American Bar Association, it's the same thing, right? You still have the same required classes, same amount of required hours, all of the same required, like you've still got to do legal writing and research. You still have to do ethics. You still have to do a clinic if that's a requirement. I mean, all the requirements are exactly the same. So why would the outcomes be different? The only thing that could make that happen is, like I said, if their standards were way lower for their part-time program, which they are at some schools. So be careful. I mean, I would look at the American Bar Association Standard 509 information report that shows the median LSAT and median GPA for the full-time and part-time program if they have one.
Mm-hmm.
So Matt, you should go look at all the schools you're interested in. And I would, that's like a bit of a red flag if those credentials are way lower for the part-time program.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Otherwise, I think you are making that mistake that Ben made.
Great. Thanks for writing in. Email daily@lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.